What's up, y'all? You're listening to the Extra Point College Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Carnes, joined as always by my co-host, Daniel Hammock. Daniel, it is time to put a bow on preseason predictions. It's time to put a period on that sentence because starting this week, we've got week 0 football games. We're not doing an entire preview episode for week 0 because college football is not giving us an entire slate for week 0, so we're not doing that. It's the bread service. We're not going to get into all that today. But on today's episode, we're going to give our full college football playoff bracket. We'll do that right off the top. We'll review our conference champions as we get into that. Win total best bets, one team per conference. What win total over or under do you feel most confident about? Dark horses and false dawns. Top 10 team to finish unranked or an unranked team that will finish in the top 10. Award predictions. We're just going to do the big 3. Our Heisman, our Nagurski, our coach of the year. Week by week game draft. What are the best games each week for us to go to? We'll take turns picking those of what games we have to look forward to this season. And lastly, but certainly not least, Daniel, this one's for you, Uncle Randall. The first annual top 15 uniform wardrobes of the sport. We'll save that one for the end for Uncle Randall. I'm sure he'll listen to that one. Shout out. That's what's on today's episode, Daniel. Before we get there, if you look in the episode description, we have our Extra Picks app that we're very excited about. It's a college football pick'em game, very similar to the one you'll find on ESPN as far as the 10 best games every week where you pick a winner and put confidence points on it, which is a lot of fun. So sure, it might be a game that's a 17.5 point spread and you just get to pick the winner, but it's in confidence on it. If you feel so confident about it,
That's
maybe
right.
I'll put a 1 on it because I think the wrong team's favored by 17.5. Probably not, but confidence points. There's also a survivor game where you pick one team each week and then you can't pick that team again the rest of the year, and you see how many weeks in a row you can win. Any games on the table. I think it's between Power 4 opponents. Any games on the table. That's on there as well. And there's one more mini game I'm not covering, but we're also going to have like an explainer. Either I'll do one or, I think Ben's working on one for how to play the game. But it's all very simple. It's on there. It looks really good. It's really easy to use. Daniel, I've thought about a top 3 finishers for that. I think first place should get to be on the episode of the podcast. What do you think? We can talk this out live. For first place episode of the pod, I thought second or third should get a hat. We've got some cool extra point hats. I think that's an easy, you get a hat.
Everybody loves a hat.
The other one, I thought about either, let us know. Would you want an extra point mug? Would you want like a 47 hat of your favorite team? Just like a simple little cleanup hat of your favorite team. Maybe you get 2 hats out of here if you're in second. Third just gets an extra point hat. Let us know. You want an extra point mug? Do you want a hat for your favorite team? That'll be second place prize, and we'll get some extra point hats as well. But winner will get to be on an episode of the Extra Point. So after you win in our full season, maybe it's we'll have a winner before the end of the season. So maybe you get to come and talk about the national championship with us here on the Extra Point. But that will be for our winner. Daniel, let's review our conference champion predictions. For the first time, I think ever, you and I have the same conference champions across the board. And except for the ACC, the same teams in the game. That's never happened for us.
Yeah.
If this is your first season listening to us, I promise this is not usually the case. It happened to be that way this year. Only difference, Daniel, in the ACC, you've got Virginia Tech going to the ACC championship. I've got Louisville. We both have Miami. In the Big 12, we both got Texas Tech over BYU. Big 10, Oregon over Ohio State. SEC, Georgia over Texas. With that in mind, Daniel, it's time, man. It's time to put your name on it. Get a prediction out there. Write it in pen for the preseason. Walk us through your bracket. What's, 1 through 12, let's seed it. We can walk through the matchups. Or if you just want to get there, here's the buys. 5 and 12 are these teams. I have this team winning. However you want to walk through it. Let's go through your bracket and see who you have winning the national championship this year.
Yeah, so for me, 1 through 12, I'll give my first 4 really quick just so we know who's got the bye weeks. Number 1, Oregon, Big 10 champ. Number 2, Georgia, SEC champ. Number 3, Miami, ACC champ. It's all so easy when it's just on paper, isn't it?
Yep,
Number 4,
all so easy.
Notre Dame finally gets an opportunity for a bye, and I think that they'll get one. So those are my top 4. So they'll have all a bye week in the CFP. My number 5 team, which will be hosting number 12 team on campus, Texas, will be hosting Boise State, my number 12 team, which is my group of 6 conference champion. Number 6 team, which will be hosting a playoff game, Ohio State, will be hosting Alabama, my number 11 team. I can't quit Alabama. I think that they're gonna do their thing. Number 7.
I've been there this preseason. For what it's worth, I've been there. I'll get to mine in a second. But yes.
You get to a lot of mid at a certain point, and you're like, you know what? Why would they not make it? You'd have to, anyways. They may be the first 3-loss team to make it. All right, we'll move on. Number 7, Texas Tech. Yeah, that's a conference champion at number 7, but I think that there's been a lot of shine lost on the Big 12. So number 7, Texas Tech. I think that they will be hosting LSU. How fun is that? Lane Kiffin going out to Lubbock. And then
money versus money.
The 8-9 matchup, you got a battle of the Big Ten. USC hosting Indiana. So that's what I've got right there. USC hosting that game. Still have Indiana in it. But, definitely a step back year for them. I mean, how could you not? That was an amazing year last year. So
hey, one rematch in the first round, USC and Indiana.
Yep. So, all right. Going through these quickly, I have Texas over Boise State. I have Ohio State over Alabama. I have LSU over Texas Tech. And I have USC over Indiana. So that puts it reseeds after that, right? Or do they play the lowest seed?
No, so the matchups are preset. So like the 1 seed will play the winner of 8-9. 2 seed will play the winner of 7-10, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. So then that puts Oregon versus USC, a rematch of the regular season for me. Number 2 is 7 and 10.
Yes. Right? Yep.
Okay.
So you've got LSU
and
against
Georgia, SEC clash. Then Miami would play the winner of
Ohio State.
Yeah, they get Ohio State, and then my last one, Notre Dame, would of course play Texas. I mean, these matchups are very fun.
I mean, yeah, give me all that. Sign me up today for those matchups.
Just moving quickly through those, I've got Oregon over USC. So then I've got Georgia over LSU, clinching their first win in the playoff in 4 years. I've got Ohio State getting revenge over Miami after last year. And then I've got Texas beating Notre Dame. So Oregon advances and will play
Notre Dame,
and then...
Or excuse me, Texas.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That game, yeah.
Oregon versus Texas, and then I've got Georgia advancing to play Ohio State. Then finally I've got Texas over Oregon.
Okay.
And I've got Ohio State over Georgia.
Okay.
So we've got a regular
Texas
season
versus Ohio State
in the national championship. And
who's your national champ, Daniel? The big reveal.
I've got Texas winning the national championship. Yep.
There you go. Okay. Texas wins it all from the 5 seed. Okay. I love it. Do we have the same exact teams in the bracket? I'm looking. We have one different. Okay, so this is going to sound a little bit repetitive, including the same Final Four in almost the same way. All right, I did use some brag.
You don't have Alabama, right?
I don't have Alabama. That's my one difference. I have swapped them and Ole Miss several times. I just think Alabama has too many question marks that Ole Miss doesn't have, minus coaching. And
it makes you feel better. I had Ole Miss, and I took them out and put Alabama. So
I initially had Alabama, and I swapped them for Ole Miss. I just think when you're splitting hairs, I can't believe I'm saying that. I think Ole Miss's roster has less question marks, which is wild to say with how Alabama's recruited, but I do feel that way. Okay, my field 1-12. Oregon 1, Big Ten champ. Georgia 2, SEC champ. Notre Dame 3, as just one loss Notre Dame. And Texas Tech at 4, Big 12 champ at 12-1. All one-loss teams there. There's my 4 buys. I've got Texas hosting Boise State at the 12. I've also got Texas at the 5. Ohio State at the 6, both conference runner-ups. I think they'll be right in the same spot they were. Maybe drop 1 or something. But like last year, Ohio State lost the conference championship and literally didn't move at all in the rankings. They stayed exactly where they were. So I think it doesn't matter. I think you can get rewarded for winning your conference. I don't think they've shown already they're not going to punish you for losing your conference.
Yeah.
If you already had a seed locked up pretty much. Yeah. You're not going to go from hosting a playoff game to not when losing your conference. For the Big Ten and the SEC, I'll say that. Okay, Ohio State hosting Indiana in a rematch at the 11. I just did this based off strength of schedule. Of who plays, which we'll see if they've never accounted for that, but if teams have the same record, which I think a lot of these will, I'm doing it based off who played the hardest schedule. Ole Miss at the 7, hosting USC at the 10. I've also got the Trojans in this one, and 8, Miami, ACC champs, hosting the LSU Tigers. I've got all home teams winning and moving on in those games. It means I've got Oregon beating Miami in a quarterfinal. I've got Georgia facing Ole Miss again in a quarterfinal and winning that game. Georgia fans might have some nightmares having to do that again.
I've got Ohio State regular season this year, which is crazy. So that would be another double matchup.
Ohio State over Notre Dame. I do have some theories here, Daniel. I think Notre Dame can win a national championship. I think getting a bye is going to hurt Notre Dame badly because it will be one more week than everyone else will have had days off because they will have not played in a conference championship game. If they get a bye, that means they get an additional 2 or 3 weeks off, while everyone else will have played at least one game, including the other bye teams,
right,
before Notre Dame will have played again. So this is one of those, I'm trying to use what we've learned from the first 2 years of the 12-team playoff, and having a bye has not been helpful. This will be the biggest bye. They're more than capable of beating Ohio State. I think this kills Notre Dame. And then Texas over Texas Tech in the other game, which again, please give me Texas versus Texas Tech in the playoff just for all the entertainment. I'm here for it.
It's great stuff.
And honestly, I was going to choose one team that had a bye to win in the quarters. I just really believe in Oregon, and I think Kirby Smart's not going to lose a third time in the quarters, is he? Surely the 1 or 2 second best coach in the country is going to figure it out. That's my logic there. Okay, I've got the same semifinal games as you do: Georgia and Ohio State, Oregon and Texas, and I've actually got the opposite winners. I've got Oregon over Texas. I've got Georgia over Ohio State. My biggest thing with Georgia, this is something I've thought about a lot in the last week or so, Daniel, is I think Georgia's defense is going to be the strength of this team again. And I say again, meaning let's go back a few years. The more I hear, Daniel, the more I think this is going to be a dominant Georgia defense. The secondary is going to be the best they've had maybe under... is it crazy to say maybe under Kirby Smart? The back 3 in that 2022 year is real special. But as far as just combined safety depth and corner depth, you've got the best linebacker room in the country already. There's 10 5-stars in the 2 deep on defense. I think that Georgia defense, especially by year's end, is going to be very good. So I do, though, Daniel. I have Oregon over Georgia for the national championship. I think Oregon wins their first national title Phil Knight gets to touch that trophy and accomplish a lifelong goal and ride off into the sunset of bringing his school a national championship. When you look at the schools that have never won one, it's pretty crazy thinking about where Oregon's program is that they haven't. And I think Oregon gets it done this year. This roster is loaded. My biggest question is the double coordinator switch for Oregon. But Dan Lanning's already proven he can handle that exact situation and replace fine. I just think at the end of the day, the team with the best players is going to win the national championship. And I think that's probably Oregon or Texas this year as far as best rosters go. And give me Oregon for that reason. I just think the best players tend to win, and they're a well-coached team. I think Lanning has built this roster as perfect as you can in modern football as far as building on a foundation of high school recruiting and then bringing in top-level transfers to bring in like top 10 transfer classes to fill holes. I think Dan Lanning has done everything right to this point, and it's going to be a matter of when, not if, he wins a national championship with Oregon. I think it happens this year. I'm very high on Oregon. I hinted at in our Big Ten preview. I think Oregon's the best team in the country, and I think they win the national championship this year. So you've got Texas winning it all. I've got the Oregon Ducks. Two coaches that are looking for it. Two coaches that people have said can't win the big one. That pressures. I think there's a lot more pressure on Sark than Dan Lanning. But, that's no disagreements here. I think those are two teams well in the running for the national championship. Okay. We have our national champion. It's written in pen. It's out there. It's in the air. Hold us to it. I'm sure, a fan of the team who actually wins it will make a compilation of bad takes of, picking against their team, and this will make it. So, no, I'm not worried about it. Oregon's winning it all this year. I'm not worried. That's it. Daniel.
Write it down in pen.
Best bets.
Yes.
We've got one per conference as far as the win total goes. We did win totals for every team. Which four do you feel the most confident about? Let's start with the ACC.
All right. For me, I think I have two. I'll mention them both. But if I'm putting one in the best category, I think I have to say Virginia Tech over 6.5 for the sheer fact of we'll see in a later segment today, but also I have them in the ACC championship. So really, I need to be believing that they're going to win more than 6.5 games, and that needs to be a slam dunk. I also really like Syracuse over 4.5, but that's if I wasn't already married to this Virginia Tech pick, I really, from an actual I think Syracuse is going to be much better. They fixed quarterback, and that was their big issue last year.
No disagreements here. When we did the pod, I said Virginia Tech and Clemson were my best bets. I actually have a third that I've gotten way more high on the further removed I've been from it. Louisville over 7.5. I think that they're the sneaky team that if Mario Cristobal does what Mario Cristobal does, don't be surprised when Louisville wins the ACC. I'm not picking that, but I will pick
both of
best
our
bet.
ACC losers. We just both picked our.
That's right.
Teams
Have
that
to,
are in the game. So yeah.
7.5. This is a 9-win team. It's not 1.5 games over that win total. That's my best bet for the ACC. Daniel, how about the Big 12? I'll start with. It's a 6.5 win total. Give me the TCU Horned Frogs. No Josh Hoover, no problem. This is an 8-win team with a 6.5 win total. Schedule is a part of this, but over 6.5. Cash it. Much more fun. Also, much more fun rooting for an over than an under. As far as rooting for a team to do well. So all mine are overs. Just
all
for
mine
what it's
are
worth.
overs as well. It's tough to make a best bet on an under. I also feel like
that's no fun.
Also, I think those margins are different. I think that it's tough to find an under that makes that you can say is I feel conviction over this under that this team will be terrible. Short of an injury or something, you're not going to be able to predict that.
Well, and then the value, is Notre Dame at 11.5. Where it's all I have to get is one loss. That's why I took the under. Is it's just all right, it is hard to win 12 games,
right?
No matter your schedule, it's hard to win them all. Anyway, okay. What's your Big 12 pick, Daniel?
Big 12 for me, I've got Well, I thought you were going to go Oklahoma State because of your early love for them. I like that one. But
Yeah,
I'm going BYU over 8.5. I like
a good
BYU
pick.
to win 10 games this year. So anytime that I have more than a game of clearance, I like to go. That's a best bet. So give me BYU over 8.5 for the Big 12.
Good pick. Good pick. I like that one. How about the Big Ten, Daniel?
I start out, I guess, with this one. I'm just going to go with my siren song USC. They have called to me. I have them in my playoff. I have them hosting a playoff game. Why not USC over 8.5?
Same. Yeah, man. 8.5. I was looking at it and I wrote it down. I was like USC over 8.5, and I'm looking at the schedule again and I'm like, this could go so poorly. If it goes bad, I mean, if it goes bad, Lincoln Riley's getting fired. You know what I mean? Like he just is. But I'm with you. USC over 8.5 is my best bet. I think this team can win 10 games, and therefore if I'm confident in that, I'm confident they're going over 8.5. Same logic as you, in that gives me more than a game of clearance. They get 9-3, miss the playoff. I'm still over the 8.5. So, but I think USC's a playoff team, so over 8.5. They've got to be over 8.5 to be a playoff team. So that's my best bet for the Big Ten as well. Daniel, I have a feeling we had the same SEC one too. The SEC was hard to me because we talked about this in our preview episode. The top is and middle is so stacked together. Like 1 through 8 are all within like under one score, and then honestly like 8 through 14 are like all within one score. And so it's a lot, like all the wins. That was the best conference for win totals for me, as far as like, dude, you could have a bunch of 9-3 and a bunch of 7-5 in the conference. But Daniel, when I'm looking at all that, I say who has the highest floor? It's the Georgia Bulldogs, over 9.5. They're winning 10 games.
Yeah, Kirby Smart 10-2 as the floor since he's been there. I mean, he had his first year in 2016 was the only year that he lost more than 2 games in a regular season. So, and then you had the COVID year, he went 8-2, but they had a shortened schedule. They didn't get to play one of their teams. So, it's one of those years where it just didn't make sense, but he still only lost 2 games. So I think that's the case here. Regular season 10-2. I think that's, like I said, the floor. So anytime the floor for me is over the win total, then that's obviously a slam dunk. Go over.
Yep. I agree. Okay, Daniel, here's a fun stat. I saw this from Brett McMurphy on Twitter. Where is it? In 22 of the last 23 seasons, at least one preseason top 10 team has finished the season unranked. What's your best guess? Now, those top 10 teams are, just for clarity, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Indiana, Miami, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma. Which of those teams are most likely to finish the season unranked?
Yeah, for me, we're just going on this year. I've got my pick is Texas A&M.
Okay, don't hate it. I had
they're
3.
In at 8, and I'm between them and Oklahoma because of finishing the year and everything like that. But I like A&M to finish unranked just because of their schedule is very tough.
I'm going Oklahoma. You said the other one. I almost let me tell you how much respect I have for Indiana. This is where again I'm still my mind is catching up to my eyes as far as you just look at those rosters and it's like, well, I mean, Indiana plays a much harder schedule. If that was a fluke, it's Indiana. I don't think it's a fluke, and I think Sig's a great coach. And watching that team, they just looked like one of the best coach teams I've ever seen.
Right.
The answer is Oklahoma. They have the biggest glaring weakness of any team in the top 10, and it is just their rushing offense.
Yeah.
And the passing offense wasn't that good either. And I know Mateer was hurt, but to me that is the most glaring, obvious thing. And I play this out. In their first 4 games, they go 2 Michigan and 2 Georgia. And so it could unravel quickly. Like if they start 2-2, does the team then shut down? They go to Texas, and that's their third loss.
Right.
And now it's like you've still got a tough schedule with, again, we said teams that are all within 3 or 4 points of each other. So I think that's the most likely one is Oklahoma. That would be my pick. Okay. In 29 of the last 32 seasons, a team that began the year unranked finished in the top 10. If you had to pick one now, Daniel, who would it be?
Yeah, I've got to stick with Virginia Tech. They've already been my siren song for everything else, so I'm just like, you know what? They're unranked. I think they'll definitely be ranked by the end of the year. In the top 10, well, if I'm thinking they're going to have the year where they make it to the ACC championship, why not put them in the top 10?
Totally fair. I have another answer, Daniel. You're gonna hate this. It's
Florida.
It's Florida. It's Florida. I mean, look. You don't hate. You're Gator Daniel. You know what I mean? Like
No.
This is just
Not. Wow.
It's Florida. Their roster is talented enough, and they play in enough of these games. We've seen them beat the Giant, and here's the thing: it's Florida. They should be a Giant, but we saw a 4-8 Florida team beat Texas at home last year, so we know they're capable of jumping up and getting these teams. There's a lot of hype around John Sumrall, a lot of new beyond hype. There's energy with the program to start fast, to win some of these big games. It seems like he's doing a lot of stuff right at Florida. You and I thought it was a good hire
because you like what he says about uniforms. You're just like, he sticks to the team colors. He doesn't wear black.
Yeah, but he's also wearing some horrific uniforms this year. To be completely fair, they're wearing the Broncos uniforms in week 2, and they're not wearing, for the first time in over 30 years, the orange helmet, blue jersey, blue pants, but they're wearing an all blue with that matte blue. Yeah, don't be. He said the right things. His actions were very different. Don't make me change my pick. All right, Florida's the pick. Florida's the pick. Yeah, this is the team that, like, with how the SEC could play out, their win total is it 7.5? I'm gonna go look. But if they win 9 games, there is a very real possibility that they're in the top 10. Yeah, their win total is 7.5. So I'm saying, can Florida outperform their win total by a game and a half? Because 9-3 could very well put you at the 10 spot in the playoff in the SEC this year. If you just have a big round robin of like 2 10-2s and 6 9-3s, and one of those is Florida, who'd you beat at that point? So my other answer, Daniel, would be in the ACC. It'd be Clemson. Again, does Dabo just be like, hey, I know last year's team was supposed to be the team that won it all, but actually we're right back and we're 10-2. And maybe they upset Miami. That's a game no one's really talking about early in the year, is Miami and Clemson. They play, that, you know, but you lose to LSU and beat Miami, you're fine. You know what I mean? So Florida's my answer. Clemson would be my second one. That was a fun little activity. Enjoyed that one. Okay, Daniel. Award predictions. We'll start with the Heisman Trophy. Who do you think wins the Heisman Trophy this year?
For the second straight year, I'm going to pick the same guy.
Same.
But I think I may have been early on it last year, so I'm going to take Dante Moore with Oregon at quarterback. I think now that his name has even more recognition this year, I think that second year in the off. I mean, I think he's going to be very, very good this year.
Give him the year 2 bump.
Moore. Yeah.
It's ditto. I'm never wrong. Just early. Dante Moore. I was like, should I be different? I picked him last year, and I was like, no, I really did believe he was going to win it last year. I believe even more in it this year.
Last year felt more of a dark horse pick because before he had the season he did. Now like, I was validated because he had a good year. Now build on it. And honestly, the biggest, they always say it's who you know. Well, for the Heisman, it's the name you know, and people know the name Dante Moore. I feel really good about it.
That's why we said that about Jeremiah Smith last year too, as far as like it's the year after the year, everybody knows him, he's on the radar. My picks to go to New York were Jeremiah Smith, CJ Carr, Arch Manning. I think there's I'm like, who are the quarterbacks on the best teams?
I like Jada Maiava as a sneaky pick to get in there. I like him as the dark horse Heisman this year.
He's in a Lincoln Riley offense.
He's going to look really good.
Why didn't I write that down? That's a good pick.
Jada Maiava. He's my dark horse Heisman. So
excellent pick. What about the Nagurski? That's awarded as the best defensive player, if you didn't know. So just any position, best defensive player. Who's your pick to win that award? Jacob Rodriguez won last year, linebacker.
Yeah, look back at previous winners, just kind of get a vibe. There's a lot of edge guys, and so a lot of big sack artists.
Not a lot of corners, I did notice. Thought about picking a corner.
I like the guy from Notre Dame, and so I went safe, but Colin Simmons out of Texas, I think, is going to be a top pick next year in the draft. He's going to be probably top 10. 12 sacks last year, 9 sacks the year before. You got to have production from the edge spot to get the recognition you need. So if he's already had 9 sacks in his first year, 12 sacks in his second year, I really think that number is going to go up this year. And so if it goes up, and he's already thought about among everybody, he's on the watch lists, he's on a great team in Texas, especially where I've got them playing. Colin Simmons, Texas, edge, he's a junior this year. He's going to have a great year.
Good pick. No arguments here. Daniel, I went with a safety for this one. And I kind of hinted at, I think a unit's going to pop this year. I think it's the Georgia defense. I think KJ Bolden wins the Nagurski Award.
That's a nice one.
He is Derwin James. He is Kyle Hamilton. I think he's that next just great safety. I think he's going to have a great NFL career. And there's a chance. I honestly went between 2 Georgia players because I think the defense is going to pop. Him and Chris Cole. Again, it's the name you know. He's the name you already know. He's been starting since he was a freshman in a Kirby Smart defense. He's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. Give me KJ Bolden as to be awarded the best defensive player in the country. And safeties have won it. Again, I went with I want to be accurate here. I'm like, so who have they given it to? I think the last corner was 03 or something. A safety was awarded it 2 years ago. Was it Watts? Who won it 2 years ago?
Yeah, Xavier Watts won it 2 years ago. Yep, that's right.
So, yeah, KJ Bolden, Georgia. Coach of the year, Daniel. I'll just say, I did this last year. Never wrong, just early. Dan Lanning, Oregon.
Yeah, I think if I'm putting USC in the playoff, I'm thinking a lot of shine would be on Lincoln Riley this year. I think he'd be a good candidate for if there was a comeback option, that would be it. But
I'm changing my answer. Sorry, you finish. I have a better answer.
Okay, well, yeah, I just think Lincoln Riley making it to the playoffs this year at USC. I think people, because they already know him, and then seeing him make it back there would be kind of like completion of the story. So they would say, all right, Coach of the Year, Lincoln Riley.
I didn't think as hard about methodology with Coach of the Year as I did with the Nagurski. Daniel, who should have won Coach of the Year every year for a decade? Nick Saban. Should have won. He was winning titles and being like, oh yeah, you're a semifinalist, but he should be doing that. Was kind of always the logic.
Right.
That in mind, Pete Golding wins Coach of the Year if he takes Ole Miss to the playoff in year 1.
Oh, yeah.
There's my pick.
That. Okay.
Yeah, you go and are hosting a playoff game in year 1 of being a head coach.
Right.
After all the Kiffins did, Pete Golding, I think he gets some love from the. Again, these are humans voting on this, so you do have to think about that.
Right.
Pete Golding. Okay. This one's fun, Daniel. Little week by week game draft. If you got to go to a game each week of the season, what game are you picking? I did flip a coin earlier, and you were not around to witness this. You're just gonna have to trust me when I say that I did win the coin flip. So I will take first pick in week 1, and we will snake around. Daniel, this is fun to just give you a nice little what's coming each week. There are weeks that are heavier than others, but every week we only get 13 of them, guys. Every week is great. Week 1, Daniel, this is easy. I'm going to Baton Rouge to a game on campus between 2 teams that I think are 2 top 25 teams if I'm making my rankings. Dabo Swinney going to Death Valley. Lane Kiffin's first game at LSU. Night game. I've never been to a night game at Death Valley. I very much want to. I wore my little light purple. I'd fit in Baton Rouge. You know my love for LSU. I'm not going anywhere else week 1. What about you?
Yeah, that's a great pick. Yeah, for me, I figured you were going there. So I'm going not off the beaten path, but we're definitely going to a neutral site game just for the hate. But Ole Miss and Louisville, which I think is the next best matchup on a Sunday night. That one's going to be fun. 2 ranked teams. And, yeah, just a great way to kick off the year in a new kickoff game. I think this is the first year of the Nashville kickoff game. So, excited to see that one.
All right, you got first pick for week 2, Daniel.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm heading to the Big House. It's going to be Michigan hosting Oklahoma. I like this one on campus. I think this one's going to be big. So, give me the Big House.
And I will take Ohio State at Texas. Wow. I don't think you scrolled down far enough.
No, I didn't.
Well, what's funny is earlier I was prepping this and I wrote down, as soon as I saw it, I was just like, yep, Oklahoma at Michigan. And then I start scrolling and I was like, nope, Ohio State at Texas.
Well, I'm used to these as big noon kickoffs. That's funny. I was like, Jacob's probably taking Oklahoma State at Oregon because I was, dude.
Yeah, that would have been a good game. Okay, I'll take Ohio State at Texas.
I have them in my national championship, and I didn't pick them. So
this was like your fantasy draft last night. You trying to queue up players and then draft them.
That's a sore topic.
Okay, week 3, Daniel. I will. This is my 3rd SEC game, but I will not be missing Lane Kiffin's return to Ole Miss. That is how. It doesn't matter how good the teams are. I want to be a part of that in week 3. That's my pick for week 3.
Yeah, somehow I knew you were going to do that, and let me see. Oh, well, how about the game that Bud Elliott hates? I'll go to Florida and Auburn.
Good pick.
At Auburn in the Plains.
Another good game that week. SMU at Louisville. Could decide who goes to the ACC championship. Another good one there. Week 4, Daniel. You get first pick. Loaded week 4. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
here.
There's 2 great picks. Well, 3.
4. We'll see.
I'm like it. Which is could be 5. I'll be the homer. I'll take Georgia, Oklahoma coming to Georgia for that game in Athens. So, give me the Dogs and the Sooners.
Daniel, this might be one of like 3 USC games that I go to. Give me Oregon at USC in a traditional rival too, old Pac-12 rivalry, West Coast rivalry game. Yeah, give me Oregon at USC and what should be
it's
a top 10
matchup
right
there, dude.
That's a Rose Bowl. I mean, yeah, this is beautiful.
Playing for the Rose Bowl, yeah.
Could be a great uniform matchup. Should be a great uniform matchup. The week 4 is one of those weeks. I starred 5 weeks. I mean, obviously I'm going to watch every week, but of like, you really can't miss these, like really like all day. There's going to be games on these 5 weeks. This is the first of them. Is week 4. Week 5, man, do I go to, okay, to prevent going to USC 2 weeks in a row, I would go to Miami at Clemson. I talked about it a couple minutes ago. I think if especially if Clemson beats LSU, but regardless of if they do or not, this is, 2 of the best programs in the ACC, a chance for Clemson to knock Miami off their pedestal, a team that's never won the ACC against a program that has won it countless times. Give me Miami at Clemson.
Yeah, I will go with USC since you kindly let me have them. Washington at USC, at the Coliseum. Great matchup. Washington, one of those dark horse picks, so it's a good one there.
Okay, Daniel, week 6, you get first pick.
All right, let me not mess this one up. I'm going to have to go to a game that has between 2 teams that have won almost all of the SEC championships in the past 15 years. So give me Georgia and Alabama. This one's at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa.
If Red River is any other week, it's the first game chosen pretty much no matter what's on the slate for me. But, Daniel, it's hard to find a game that has had consistently better matchups than Georgia and Alabama have over the last 15 years. These games always end up in classics. Of course, you had the unbelievable Bama takes a 4-touchdown lead in like the first quarter against Georgia. Georgia takes the lead in the fourth quarter. Last time this game was in Tuscaloosa, Ryan Williams, 75-yard touchdown. Anyway, yeah, good pick. I will take Red River. That's one of those consolation prizes, Red River, but you did take the right first pick, I think. But I will take Red River in week 6. Week 7, Daniel, this is another next one that I starred as far as it's a loaded slate. I will take what could be a 1 versus 2 game, what was a 1 versus 2 game last year. Give me Ohio State at Indiana in week 6 as my pick.
Like it. For me, I'm looking handful of good games here. I'm really debating. I think I've got to see BYU and Notre Dame, to be honest with you, because I want to see both of those teams up close. So that's probably where I'd go. Notre Dame visiting BYU. BYU's biggest test of the season. Maybe Notre Dame's as well. Well, I'm not going to hate on Miami like that. Notre Dame does play Miami, but this is a very good matchup.
2 more games I wrote down as options were third Saturday in October, Alabama at Tennessee, and Penn State at Michigan. Both should be very good games.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, Daniel, week 8. First pick to you.
All right. This one, I am going to go. I'm going to do Ole Miss at Texas. I think this one's going to be a fun, high-flying matchup. And, yeah, what more to say? I was going to say 2 playoff teams from last year, but it's not the case. Sorry, Texas. But should be a good one in DKR in Austin.
Yeah, good pick. That would be my first pick. I'll go Texas A&M at Alabama. I think, especially at that point in the season, both are fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe the last playoff spot as far as how I see things playing out. Give me Texas A&M at Alabama. Indiana also goes to Michigan week 8. Week 9, Daniel, I will go to my second USC game. Give me Ohio State at USC. I was going to say it's on a college campus. Not really, but it's in a college's stadium that they play in regularly. That would be my pick for week 9. I have a feeling where you're going.
Yeah, dude, I'm close by. Why not? It's going to be in Atlanta this year, so Georgia,
unfortunately.
Florida. Yeah, because of the renovations in Jacksonville, 2 years are going to be out of Jacksonville. Georgia is going to be hosting, I guess, technically in Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. Next year will be in Tampa, but why not? Georgia, Florida, one of Georgia and Florida's biggest rivalry, right here in the middle of the season, neutral site game. Love it.
If only there was an option where both schools could have hosted this game when we have this 2-year gap while Jacksonville's being renovated. What a shame. The wrong people are in charge of the sport, Daniel. The wrong people are in charge. Dude. Unfortunately, money makes most of the decisions nowadays. Okay, Daniel, week 10, you get first pick. This is, again, you could argue probably the most loaded week of the season.
This is the one. This is the one right here, man. This one's tough. I think I got to go right now. It's a 1-2 matchup. It probably will be that. I've got them playing each other in the Big Ten Championship. So give me Ohio State and Oregon. I'm just not going to outthink the room here. That's just a very good one. It's in Columbus. So at Ohio State.
All right. They're lucky that I've already been to an LSU game this year. Because that would be my pick. Just because Bama at LSU in Death Valley at night just rocks. But Miami at Notre Dame. It's the one game this year you get the chance to see Notre Dame play somewhat competitive. It's at Notre Dame Stadium, not in the lifeless Hard Rock Stadium that Miami plays in. Give me Miami at Notre Dame. Okay, week 11. Oh, this sets up nicely. Yeah, I'm going back to Baton Rouge. Texas at LSU. As many games in Baton Rouge as I can go to. Count me in. Texas at LSU for me, Daniel. What about you?
Yeah, there's some really low-key good games.
Sneaky good week.
We want to say.
Yeah.
I mean, some ones that I like that I'm not going to do is Oregon, Michigan. Really like USC and Indiana. But
yeah, I wrote that one down.
There's 2 SEC games that I had this down to, which was Tennessee and Texas. Or excuse me, Tennessee at Texas A&M and Ole Miss at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to Kyle Field and watch Tennessee at Texas A&M. I think this is an interesting matchup. Two teams that are going to be maybe in very different places at this time, and I feel like Texas A&M is going to be fighting to keep their eyes on the playoff. Tennessee, they're going to have a freshman quarterback that's had some time to play, and so this is going to be a big matchup on Kyle Field.
Good pick. Week 12, Daniel. First pick to you.
All right. Well, I will go. Well, I really should have looked at back-to-back weeks because I like the I like LSU going to Tennessee, so I'm just going to stick with that. Two
that
straight
would have
weeks
been
in
my
Tennessee. I know it's tacky, but at least they're in two different locations. So I went to Texas.
Yeah.
A&M. Now
Different
I'm at
stadiums.
Tennessee. Got to see Lane going back to Tennessee with a new team, another new team.
Another new team. That would have been my first pick. I will settle, not really, but never been to Washington. So to get a chance to watch a top 10 team go on the road to Washington, I've heard it's a really loud place to play. Right there in the water. Heard it's beautiful. Fans are great. Love Washington fans. So, yeah, Indiana at Washington. Would love to go to that game, week 12. Rivalry week, Daniel. This one starts and ends with me with the game. Ohio State and Michigan. Can Ryan Day do it twice? Can lightning strike twice with Ryan Day in Michigan? In the shoe this year, give me Ohio State and Michigan in the P1.
I think it's great. I think it's great for rivalry week because there's always more than that game. But that's a huge one. Dude, I'm going Friday night, dude. I want Texas at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Returning to Kyle Field, but I just think we went so long without this rivalry being played that I'm soaking up as much as I can of this rivalry. So
I'm with you. I love it. Okay, Daniel. I've had a little fun on the side. I've been influenced by NFL Uniform Advice on Twitter. Great account. And every year he publishes his best uniform wardrobes in the sport. I wanted to publish. There's way too many teams to rank all of them in college football. I did rank the top 15. And in true Jacob fashion, Daniel, I had to find a way to do this systematically. And I did. So basically, here's my problem, Daniel, is teams like Miami's a good example. All right. Home and away uniforms, absolutely elite. And then you throw out that trash camo they wore last year. And
terrible.
It's just, and so it's like, okay, do I be like combo 1, combo 2, combo 3, weigh at 33%, across the board? Because that's really going to bring Miami down. Or do I do, which I did do, Daniel, it's a 2-year like running score, I guess, of what combos you did wear, and it accounts for how often you wore them. So if you wore your combo that's perfect, like Miami, like they're all whites or they're white, orange, white, 10 times and they camo once, well, know that the 5 out of 5 score is counting 10 times and the 1 out of 5 score is counting once. That's fair, right?
Gotcha.
Because
Yeah.
you have to account for it. So, because you might see some teams that are like, oh, where's that team? Like, for example, Miami, not in the top 15. Let's start at the top, Daniel. And this is where I'll say there is respect given for restraint here of not wearing crap. All right. Some teams don't need several combinations to be ranked first. And USC has the best uniforms in college football. Their home and away uniforms are a 5 out of 5 for me. Perfect. They've worn one throwback, which I think is a 4 out of 5, but I think USC overall has the best uniform wardrobe in the sport, followed by Ohio State at number 2. Now theirs, I guessed on pattern because they do have a new uniform suite. So they're going to wear their, whatever they call their all scarlet, whatever, and the all white, not a fan. They're all black. They're one of the only teams I give a small pass to for having a black uniform. But Daniel, their home and away are both perfect. I would change nothing about them, especially with the Buckeye stripe. 5 out of 5. Second best uniforms in the sport. LSU, Daniel, number 3. LSU, of course, they majority of the time just wear their gold, white, gold uniform combination. They've worn more combos than I thought. A sneaky good one, Daniel, is I love the gold jersey and the white helmet and white pants. I also love the purple jersey with the white helmet and white pants. They have some sneaky good combos. So, and of course, the regular one to me is just, again, it's perfect. It's 5 out of 5. Texas is 4. They only wear 2 uniforms. Again, respect shown and constraint and not wearing stuff. I like the home uniform better. I know you love the away. My only knock on Texas, Daniel, is, and they're a team that, I still think it's near perfect. I don't like, especially white pants with no stripe. I like a pant stripe. White pants and no stripe look like a practice pant, and Texas wears just blank white pants. It looks good with Texas, but know that it can't be a perfect 5 with just plain white pants. But they're still, again, they're fourth in the country. They're a top uniform wardrobe in the country. Alabama, same score, same reasoning. It's 2 uniforms. The crimson helmet, to me, it's iconic. Hear me right. The color becomes a little dull and doesn't pop as much because of the darker shade, but it's Alabama. Penn State, again, Alabama, Texas, Penn State are kind of in the same category of teams that only wear 2 combinations and they're near perfect. Respect, elite, that's at 6. Notre Dame down at 7. And there's probably some of you that are either thinking like they should be way higher, the gold helmets, how could you? Because Notre Dame chooses to wear, they've worn white pants in the last 2 years at home and on the road. They have their, jersey they have to wear with the Shamrock Series. Again, if they just wore their regular stuff, if they only wore their home and away, they would be ranked first.
They're losing points for their lack of restraint, you would say.
That's right. That's right, Daniel. At 8, we've got Georgia. Georgia was as high as 4 before announcing their whiteout uniform for this year. So they dropped 4 spots just by wearing. Again, Georgia has shown restraint. You add something different and new that's not as good, it's a 3 out of 5. It brings down your average. But again, their home and away is near perfect, 4.5 for both. My favorite combo of Georgia, Daniel, is actually the away uniform, the red, white, silver, the triple mismatch club at Georgia at 8. Michigan at 9. Again, a team that should be ranked first or second, Daniel, or third in that conversation, but the all blues honestly is what's holding this back because it's the lowest rated uniform to me, and they wear it more often. That's the problem. So I'm even okay with blue pants and white pants on the road. I think that's fine. Blue pants at home, you have such a good color combination. What are we doing? Number 10, Florida State. Again, this is one of these. Oh wow, they're probably lower than you thought. Restraint, Daniel. This white helmet on garnet.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Whiteout uniform. And done. I think my sneaky favorite Florida State combo is I love an away uniform, Daniel, but it's the triple mismatch. It's a gold helmet, white jersey, garnet pants. That to me is like when I think about Florida State in the 90s when I first saw Florida State highlights and stuff, I see that uniform. In fact, I think they wore it against Florida in like the national championship. Yeah, some very good combos. Auburn at 11. The only thing holding Auburn back from being top 8 is the orange face mask. Orange face mask because it's a like shiny face mask. It looks wrong, and they wear it too often. I kind of like the white face mask at home with a navy jersey and white pants, and then a navy face mask on the road. I think that's the best look for Auburn. Again, restraint. Their uniform's very clean. Clemson at 12. I don't love the all orange, but it's fine. But they have a really good home combination. I love the paw print on the shoulder pads. Baylor just did this with their new throwback uniform with the bear claw on the shoulder pads. It's something different, but it still looks clean and it works. I like it a lot. They're all purple. It's even cool looking. I think their best combo is white, orange, white. So that's at 12. Florida at 13. Florida, again, was higher before announcing these recent uniform changes that they're going to wear this year. Florida, I think, was up at 7, and these recent uniform changes dropped them a little bit. But, again, they have 2 combinations that I would consider a perfect 5 out of 5. Their normal home orange, white, blue, their road of orange, white, blue. Excuse me, orange, blue, white, orange, white, blue. We're going home and away. And then they had an elite throwback last year that was orange, blue, white. But just the old logo, a gray face mask, simple jersey. The throwback this year is good. Not as good. I don't like a matte helmet. That's just me. But I don't like the new blue helmet in general for Florida, so I brought them down. Oklahoma at 14. Again, show some restraint. Don't like the black uniform. Don't like their throwback, but it's fine. Their other stuff, 4.5 out of 5. And lastly, Daniel, Tennessee. This is one of the rare times, Daniel, where I think that Tennessee got a huge upgrade going from Nike to Adidas. Nike's template is still the best in college football, but I like the number font being a lot bigger. And honestly, there's a couple teams on here, Daniel, Auburn and Georgia included, that with bigger numbers, I think the uniform would look better. I think some of these best uniforms have the right size numbers, like Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama. And like Georgia has a much thinner number template than those teams do. But I love the blackout uniform Tennessee has. Again, I'm almost giving them a pass because like black and orange in October kind of looks sick. I can't give it a 5 though. I think it looks as cool as a 5, but black's not in their school colors, so it can't be a 5. I'm sorry.
Right. Out of principle, yeah.
The new smoky gray is terrible. It makes me want to throw up. It's horrific. Again, this is a top 7 wardrobe without that uniform. So,
wow.
Tennessee, they had 2 really good smoky grays with Nike. The last one was terrible, but the previous 2 were excellent. This one looks more like the first Adidas smoky gray. It had like the stretch marks on the shoulder pad. God, that template was so bad from Adidas. Goodness. At least, hey, we can all say at least Adidas has got rid of the stretch marks template. Those are your top 15 uniforms in the sport. The uniform wardrobe is in the sport right now. Just missed Washington, UCLA, Kansas State, Ole Miss, North Carolina. Show some restraint. You could be higher. Daniel, any thoughts on who did I miss? Did I leave anyone out that you're like, that's sick?
I don't think so. I mean, mine are going to be, the more basic, the better. But yeah, no, I'm in line with your list. It's tough for me to go past 15 in general with even caring about someone's uniform, to be honest.
I get it.
But no, this is good. This is good. It's nice to hear the levels that you went to with certain teams.
Thank you.
How if some of these teams would just lay off, they'd be much higher. So just something to be said about that.
For equipment managers out there, like I know the name of the game is sell jerseys, I guess, but man, sometimes look, different does not equal better. All right, that's just it. Different does not equal better. And most times, different is bad, especially when you have something great. Why risk it not being great? Like USC, they don't mess around with it. You know why? It's perfect. It's perfect.
Beautiful.
Shout out to USC. I need those uniforms in the playoff, Daniel. I need it. I need a home playoff game for USC. I need it. I need to see it. All right. That puts a period on it, Daniel. Next time we talk ball, we're talking games. We're picking games.
Let's go.
Let's hope we have these lawsuits resolved. I don't even want to talk about them. I don't even want to talk about them, Daniel.
I'm pretending like it does not exist.
Yeah, NFL players shouldn't play college football. I think that's pretty simple. There's our stance on it. There's our segment. But be sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at the Extra Point Pod. You can follow Daniel on Twitter at Deep South Daniel. You can follow me on Twitter at Jacob Carnes with a K. That will do it for this edition of the Extra Point. He is Daniel. I am Jacob.